Hello friends, in today's video we will discuss about library classes in Java. So let's start this video. In this chapter we will discuss the following points. Firstly, we will see introduction, then we have wrapper classes, then implementation of wrapper classes, then we have the numeric wrapper class methods, then character wrapper classes are there, then we have the auto boxing and unboxing. So let's start this video and see everything one by one. In Java, we have 8 primitive data types, including character and boolean. Character and boolean are non-numeric data types, whereas other 6, integer, short, long, float, double and byte, they are numeric data types. So these are the 8 data types that we have in Java. And every data type have a wrapper class. For example, int has a wrapper class and the name of wrapper class is integer. Char has a wrapper class and the name of wrapper class is character. Short has short wrapper type. Boolean has boolean wrapper class. Long has long wrapper class. Float has float. Double has double and byte has byte wrapper class. So keep in mind that the data type, all the names are in small case, whereas in wrapper class the name of class start with a capital letter, like integer I starting with capital, character C starting with capital. So these all are wrapper classes in Java. Now the question is, what is the use of wrapper classes in Java? So let me tell you, with the help of primitive data types, you can store a value in a variable. For example, integer variable will hold integer value, character variable will hold a character value, and so on. And all these variables will hold a single value, and all the variables which are declared using 8 primitive data types, they are called of value type, because whenever we use the variable which is declared using any of the 8 primitive data types, it is accessed with the help of its name and not by its memory address. So that's why these variables are called value type. Other type of variable, they are called reference type, and reference type variables, they store the composite values and the value can be accessed with the help of their memory address. So when you need value type variables in Java, you can use these data types, primitive data types. But if you need reference type variables, then you can use the wrapper classes. So we have 8 wrapper classes, and these wrapper classes are a part of java.lang package, and these wrapper classes are used to declare reference type variables, and they can also store or they can also hold a value at their memory address. Now let's understand the concept of value type and reference type. Suppose you declared a variable integer x, it is having 25 value, and this variable is declared using primitive data type, so that's why it is of a value type. In next line, we created an object. The name of object is y using integer wrapper class. Integer y assignment new integer and the value is 25. Here y is of a reference type because it is an object of a wrapper class, and y is pointing to or y is referencing to a value which is 25. So y is of a reference type. So in this way we can use value type with the help of primitive data types, and you can declare a variable of reference type with the help of wrapper classes in Java. Next we have the significance of using wrapper classes. As I already told you that in Java, wrapper class is mainly used to convert primitive data types into reference type or into objects. So this is the main reason we use wrapper classes in Java. Next we have the implementation of wrapper classes. So how the wrapper classes are used in Java. Actually wrapper classes, they provide us several methods. Every wrapper class is having some methods, and with the help of those methods we can perform various operations in our program. Firstly we have the constructor methods of class. So constructor is a method of class which is used to initialize the object of a class. So wrapper classes, they also use the constructors for creating objects. So the syntax for creating object of a wrapper class is given here. Firstly you need class name followed by object name, then we have the assignment operator, then we have the new keyword, and then again we have the class name, and within the parentheses we have arguments. So this last part after the new keyword, it is called constructor. For example, integer obj assignment new integer 50. So this is the object of integer class which is having a value 50. The name of object is obj. Similarly, you can create other objects of all the wrapper classes. But for the integer class, you can use two types of arguments. Either the argument should be a numeric value without points, or it should be a numeric string. So string means the argument can be enclosed in double quotes, but the value within the double quote should be a numeric value. For example, here integer obj1 is declared and it is having a value 506, which is a numeric value. And in second example, integer obj2 is declared, it is having a numeric string because 506 is enclosed in double quotes. So anything which is enclosed in double quotes, that is called a string. So in two ways you can create object of integer class using constructor. Either you can give the numeric value as a parameter to the constructor, or you can use numeric string representation as a argument to the constructor. So with the help of same syntax you can create the other wrapper class objects in your program. For example, boolean class, byte is there, short is there, long is there, double is there, float is there. Next we have some common methods of wrapper classes. So the first method is value of a method. So this method can be used with any wrapper class, and this method is used to convert the string value into actual value. So it means if you are using value of method with integer class, it will convert the string into integer. If you are using value of method with float class, it will convert the string value into float value. If you are using value of method with a double class, it will convert the string value into double value. So here is one example for you. Here one obj1 is created using integer class and the value is 50268. It means obj1 store this value 50268, which is a string value. Now we will find the actual numeric value using the value of a method. For that you need to write name of the wrapper class, that is integer, dot name of the method, that is value of, and within the parentheses you can pass the argument, that is within the double quotes you have written 50268. So this is a string, and after converting the string into integer, it will give us a numeric value, which is a integer value. So this is the method which is called value of method. So this method can be used with any wrapper class to convert the string value into actual value. Here is an example. Suppose you add 2 plus 3. Here 2 and 3 are string, and your answer will be 23, because plus operator will concatenate or merge the string values. So its answer will not be 5, its answer will be 23, because 2 and 3 will be merged together, because these are string. But if we convert the strings into integer value, then we will write like this: integer dot value of 2 plus integer dot value of string 3. Now firstly the 2 and 3, which are string value, they will be converted into integer, then plus will add these, and now the answer will be 5, because here 2 and 3 are converted into integer. So value of method is used to convert any string value to its actual value. Second method we have XXX value method. Here XX is not any name. You can replace these with the type you are using. Suppose you are using it with the byte data type, then the method name will be byte value. If you are using it with a short data type, then the method name will become short value. If you are using it with integer, then int value, long value, float value, or double value. So this is the actual method. So this method is used to convert the wrapper object into primitive data type. So you can see this value method is used to convert the reference type into primitive data type. So byte value will convert the reference type into byte value. Short value will convert the reference type into short value. Int value will convert the value into integer. Long value will convert the wrapper class object into long value, and float value will convert the wrapper object into float type, and double value will convert the wrapper class object into double data type. Here is example of this value method. Here I have created a class and main method, and using integer wrapper class one object is created and the value is 50286. So this is the value which is held by the object 1. And in next line I have printed system.out.println obj1.byte value. It means I am converting the object 1 into byte value. Then in next line I am converting the obj1 into short value. In next line obj1 is converted into integer value. In next line obj1 is converted into long value, then float value, and then double value. It means we are converting the obj1, which is a wrapper class object, into value type. So the output window is also given in byte. It is 1110 50286. In byte it is represented as 1110, and 1110 is an arbitrary value, because byte cannot store 50286. A byte data type can store up to 255 only, maximum 0 to 255. Beyond that it cannot store the values. But here it is written downside. You can see this paragraph how 110 is coming. The last paragraph, this is because of the range of byte is from 0 to 255. Hence if you enter any value greater than 255, the byte will convert the value to bring it within the range 0 to 255 in a cyclic fashion. So it will repeat the value again from 0 to 255, again from 0 to 255. For example, if you take the value 257, it will return 1. So if the 255 is there, then the same value will be represented. If you will use 256, then again it will repeat it with a 0. Then 257, it will give it 1. 258, it will give it 2 as a value. And similarly short value minus 15250 is coming. Int value is same, long value will be same, float value 50286.0 will come, and double value 50286.0 is the double value. Next we have the parse method, and this method is also used to convert a string into primitive data type, means into numeric type. So when you need to convert the string into numeric type, you can use this parse method. For example, here I created integer variable integer ob assignment integer.parseInt string is 1664. As this is enclosed in double quotes, it is a string, but integer.parseInt will convert into integer, and the result will be stored in integer variable ob. So when you will print the output of ob, 1664 will come as an integer value. Similarly, you can use this parse method with any of the wrapper class. For example, float.parseFloat, double.parseDouble, long.parseLong, and boolean.parseBoolean, plus other wrapper classes which are available in Java. You can use with any of a wrapper class this parse method. But keep in mind, if you are using parse method with the integer class, then write parseInt. If you are using parse method with double class, then write parse double. If you will write integer.parse double, that will be wrong. Integer.parse float, that will be wrong. So same wrapper class you have to pick for which you are using the parse method. If you are using parse method for float, then the wrapper class will be float. If you are using parse method with double, then the wrapper class should be double.parseDouble. So this thing you have to keep in mind. Next we have the toString method, and this method is used to convert the value type into string type. So suppose any value you want to convert it into string value, then you can use this toString method. For example, here toString class is there, main method is there, integer obj new integer 6574 is there. So this is the object of wrapper class, and it is having value 6574. If you want to convert this value into string value, then you will write obj.toString method. So this will convert the obj into string data type. So you can use this toString method with any wrapper class. The same value will be represented in string format. Here we have all the methods which we discussed earlier: integer class, parseInt, value of, and toString. All these are the method of integer class. Similarly, byte class is there, parse byte, value of toString. Short class is there, parse short, value of toString. Next we have the long class, and here we have the parse long, value of and toString. Then float class is there, parse float, value of and toString method is there. Then we have the double class, and double class we have the parse double, value of and toString method. So these methods you can use with any of the wrapper class. Next we have the character class. So it is the primitive char data types wrapper class, and the methods of character class are listed below. Here we have some testing method. The first is isDigit, then isLetter or digit, is lowercase, is uppercase, and is a white space. So these all are the testing functions. They will return you true or false. Next we have two lowercase method and two uppercase method. These are the conversion functions. They will convert the character into lowercase or uppercase. So the first methods, they are testing function. For example, isDigit, it will return you true if the argument is of digit, otherwise it will return you false. Then we have isLetter. If the argument given to isLetter is letter type, then it will return true. If that argument is not a letter, then it will return you false. Then we have the is letter or digit. It will return you true if the argument is letter or digit, otherwise it will return you false. Is lowercase, if the argument is in lowercase, it will return you true, otherwise false. Is uppercase, it will return you true if the argument given is in uppercase. If the argument is in small case, then it will return you false. So these are the methods of a character class. Some are testing function and some are conversion functions. So here is an example of these methods. Firstly, we imported java.util package because we are going to use the scanner class in this program. Then class is there, main method is there, scanner class object is there. Then we have entered a message, that is enter a string. Then we input a string from the user, that is string s1. sc is the string class object dot next line is the method which will read a string from the user at runtime. Similarly, we have string s2 which is s1 dot to lowercase. So string 1 will be converted into lowercase, then that string will be stored in s2 after converting it into lowercase. Then we printed the s2 string, so whatever user has entered, that will be printed in the lowercase. Then we have the string 3, again s1 dot to uppercase. So s1 is again converted into uppercase and storing the result in s3. Then we printed the s3. Now s3 will be printed in uppercase. So here user has entered a string hello java and user has entered the string in capital. So then the string in lowercase is printed and then the string in s3 uppercase is printed in the output screen. Here we have another program on character class functions. So here string s2 is there, then user will enter a string, that is s1. Then we have character c1, so this is a character variable which is assigned from s1 dot char at 0. So caret function is a function in Java which is used to return the character from a string at particular index. So char at 0 means the character in s1 string which is present on 0 index, that is the first index, it will be returned and that character will be stored in c1 variable. So caret function will return a character from particular index in the string. Then we have printed the next method, that is character dot is digit s1 dot char at 0. So it will check whether the char at 0 in s1, that is a digit or not. If it is a digit, then it will return true, otherwise it will return false. Similarly, is letter char at 1, so it is on the 1 index, we are checking whether it is a letter or not. Is letter or digit char at 2, is lowercase char at 3, is uppercase char at 4, and last one we have character dot is white space. So this method will check whether the character at 5 index is a white space or not. So according to the conditions, it will return true or false. If the condition satisfies, then true will be returned, otherwise false will be returned. Here we have some numeric wrapper class methods. So as I told you, there are 6 numeric wrapper classes, namely integer, short, long, double, float and byte. So all these are numeric wrapper classes. So with these you can use the different methods which we discussed earlier. For example, parse method was there, value method was there, toString method was there. So all these methods will help us in converting the primitive type into reference type and reference type into primitive type. Next we again have this caret method and length method, and these methods are used with the strings. caret method is used to return or used to read particular character from particular index, and length method is used to find the length of a string. So the length of string is the number of characters present in the string including white spaces. So the total number of characters will be returned by the length method. Here is a program of caret method. Here we have a scanner class object D, and then user will enter a string, and from the string we will return caret 5. So the character which is on location number 5 starting from 0, that will be returned, and that we have printed. Here user has entered a string called Cordova. So C is the character which is present at 0 index, O is the character which is present at 1 index, R is the character which is present at 2 index, D 3 index, O 4 index, and V is the character at 5th index. So in output V will be printed because V is the character at location number 5. So this is the caret method. And length method will return the length of a string. Suppose we have S1 string and the string is tag guy. Then I printed system.out.println S1.length. So it will print the length of S1, and the length of S1 is 8 including white space. So tag is having 4 characters, guy is having 3 plus 1 white space is there. And finally we have the concept of auto boxing and unboxing. Auto boxing is also called boxing. So auto boxing is when you convert the primitive type into reference type, that is called auto boxing, and when you convert the reference type back into primitive type, that is called unboxing. For auto boxing you need to use the wrapper classes, for example integer in assignment new integer 50. Here the 50 is a primitive value which is converted into reference type int type. So this is called auto boxing. Similarly you can assign the wrapper class object to primitive data types, and that will convert the wrapper class into primitive type. So this will be called unboxing. For example, here integer in object is of wrapper class which is having values 674, and in next line integer a assign in. Now in is a reference type variable, or it is a wrapper class object which is assigned to a integer variable a. Here integer a variable is of a primitive type, so it will convert the int in into integer type. So this will be called unboxing. So that's all in today's video. Thanks for watching Tech Guy.